The big lull, if you want to call it that, COVID holiday travel obviously has been changed because so many people didn't fly over the course of the pandemic. But the chaos hit another high over the weekend, and more chaos after a very interesting situation at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, the busiest airport in the country. A convicted felon tried to get a gun past security. That gun ended up firing accidentally. Paul Gerke is at LaGuardia Airport in New York with more on this story. Paul?
Adrian, if there was ever a time to go full dad mode and get to the airport a full 2 hours early, as the TSA asked you to do, these are the few days to do it as we gear up for one of the busiest travel seasons in recent memory. TSA says it screened more than 2.24 million passengers on Friday. On Saturday, among the passengers they screened, that man in Atlanta, a convicted felon who tried to get a gun past security. The incident left 3 people injured, and that felon is still on the loose.
Chaos at one of the busiest airports in the world, Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta.
It was pretty chaotic coming back through security, but I think they finally got it worked out, and then they started sending people through really, really quick.
The TSA says the man is a convicted felon and shouldn't have a weapon at all, let alone trying to get one into an airport. When TSA agents pulled his bag for additional screening, he allegedly grabbed the loaded gun from his bag, and it accidentally went off. Nobody was hit, but everybody panicked. Passengers screaming out of the airport, fearing the worst. This latest scare comes as we enter one of the busiest travel weeks of the year, the number of travelers reaching pre-pandemic levels. The TSA estimates it'll screen about 20 million people over the next week. That's an 80% increase over last Thanksgiving. The TSA says it can handle the extra crowds, even with a vaccine mandate taking effect today that could sideline workers who haven't received their shots. The airlines are also dealing with staffing shortages. American and Southwest say that's one of the reasons thousands of flights were delayed and canceled last month. And the problems aren't confined to the ground. Attacks by passengers in midair against flight crews are on the rise, including an incident last month on American when a man punched a flight attendant, breaking her nose. Just one of 5,000 unruly passenger incidents reported this year.
This is a major test, make no mistake about it, for the airports after taking basically a year off and having to survive the pandemic lull. We saw a record number of passengers in 2019, some 23 million over the holiday season. The TSA doesn't expect quite as many this year, as I told you a second ago, but it is still going to be plenty busy if you're heading out this week. Don't let the relative silence behind me at LGA fool you. It's going to be packed here later today, Adrian.
Yes, today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Thank you so much, Paul. The weather, of course, for Thanksgiving week has improved. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.